Welcome back everyone to the Bucks County Conservation District's Backyard Vegetable Gardening web series. Last week we went over container gardening as a great small-scale option to grow your own food at home. Today's video is going to go over some easy ways you can practice water conservation in your own backyard. Conventionally, lawns are made up of just grass and some non-native plants, all just for aesthetic purposes. While these lawns may be visually pleasing, they are actually increasing water use and decreasing water quality. There are so many other purposes that lawns can serve besides just aesthetic value. And by converting your front or backyard into a more productive landscape, you can create habitats and food sources for animals, improve soil quality, and practice water conservation. The first way you can naturalize your yard is by converting it into a pollinator garden. A pollinator garden consists of a variety of native plants which serve as food sources and habitats for local pollinators. Another way you can naturalize your yard is by creating a backyard vegetable garden, which is a really great, fun way to grow your own food. Not only is this a very efficient use of land and water, you also personally benefit by getting some delicious and fresh fruits and veggies. Any way you can create a more diverse, naturalized ecosystem in your backyard will be a much more efficient use of water as opposed to solely for aesthetic purposes, since it's benefiting things like promoting pollinators and growing food. The next type of garden you can incorporate into your yard is called a rain garden. Rain gardens can be placed in any area of your yard that frequently gets flooded during rain events. This flooding damages the soil quality and can cause water to run off into nearby bodies of water. These rain gardens can be strategically placed at the base of downspouts to catch water runoff from rain events, or you can utilize the slope of your yard to channel the water into it. The bulk of these rain gardens is going to be made up of native, water-intensive, deep-rooted plants that thrive in these high water conditions. Not only will you create a beautiful native garden in your yard, you will also help control water flow, prevent flooding, and filter water runoff. Even if you can't convert your yard into a pollinator, vegetable, or rain garden, some plants are better than nothing. The main thing to avoid is impervious surfaces, things like driveways, sidewalks, or any non-porous pavement. While these are obviously necessary around your home, the best thing to do is try and avoid adding any additional ones. This is because there's no soil or plant to absorb the water coming down during a rain event, so this causes the water to simply run off the surface, carry contaminants with it, and then it can find its way into nearby water bodies. So this is just something to keep in mind when considering adding a deck or pool area to your home. Next is the use of rain barrels. Many people find themselves outside watering their lawn or their gardens a few times a week, and this frequent water usage adds up over time, not only in your water bill, but also in overall water supply. Instead of using your hose to water your garden, you can utilize rainwater. By placing a large barrel at the base of a downspout, you can collect and store rainwater, which you can then use to water your gardens whenever it's drier. Collecting this rainwater also helps prevent flooding and water runoff into nearby water bodies. The last way to practice water conservation at home is to limit the use of fertilizers, pesticides, and herbicides. There are many environmental benefits to this, but it is especially important in terms of water quality. Depending on the content, amount, and application of these inputs, they can make their way into nearby water bodies where they can have negative effects on the flora and fauna within it. There are so many alternatives to these inputs which are just as effective and have less negative environmental impacts that should be considered before applying these chemical applications. Water is one of our most precious resources, and each of us has a responsibility to reduce our water use and protect our water quality. I hope this video gave you some inspiration to implement forms of water conservation in your home. For more ideas and inspiration, you can check out the tools and resources section of our website. Next week, we're going to have a similar style video on soil conservation. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.